Hello, students. This is Mr. D. I put up a cute cat photo to kind of talk over because who doesn't like a cute cat photo? If you don't, you failed my class instantly. Um, First of all, I want to wish you all a happy New Year. You might be saying, Mr. D, it's October. Well, if you were listening to me the last few days, it's actually the Jewish New Year. We have a different calendar, just like there's Lunar New Year, or sometimes called Chinese New Year, right? I believe Islam also has its own very similar calendar. I believe Ramadan starts at a different time every year. I could be wrong, um, right? And Christians have their own calendar. That's the calendar we use in the United States, right? It comes from the Roman calendar. I go by that calendar most days, but for my holidays, I go by the Jewish calendar, right? So today is the first day of the new year. So Happy New Year, everybody. It's Rosh Hashanah. It's a holiday. And one thing that we do on Rosh Hashanah is we really like to reflect about how our year just went and how we're going to make the next year better. We have something we wish to each other. We say, have a sweet new year. Right? We have a tradition where we actually dip apples in honey and eat it. It's very sweet, right? And you're supposed to you're supposed to wish each other a happy new year, a sweet new year, but also think about how you're going to do it, right? So I want us all to think about today, how are we going to make our next year our sweetest year ever, right? Just like this kitty. This kitty looks like it's a very sweet year. I mean, look at those ears, right? By the way, this will be a little bit of a long video because I'm going to give you instructions. At the end, I do have a very cute video of my cat that my mom shared with me, where he's purring and being very cute. So I will share that with everybody. Okay, so what are we doing today? We're doing IXL. So I am going to actually play a video. It will be very annoying because that's how these videos are. But it's going to kind of introduce you to your dashboard. So just take a moment to watch this. So basically, this is your dashboard, right? You've seen this before. And this is where you go to find everything, right? Okay. So you'll see on your dashboard from 3 on IXL, right? I believe this is what you open up when you go to IXL. And if that's not true, you can click around. Someone will find it and tell the rest of the class, right? So you'll see these 3 tabs. You'll see From Your Teacher, Recent Skills, and Recommendations. I have recommended a bunch of skills for us, all right? I want you to spend 45 minutes today working on these skills. I will give you 10 points if you spend 45 minutes working on these skills. Honestly, I have literally no idea how long it'll take to do this, but in order to be extra sure, sorry, I'm trying to find the right tab, extra sure that you have enough content, I've recommended 6 skills, okay? To be honest, these are all skills from the 5th grade. I know it says 6th grade, but this is supposed to be what you did when you came back to school. It is the fall, right? And therefore, these are skills that you should already have. And don't blame yourself if you don't have them, right? I don't know what your teachers did in the past. And also, we all have things that we're good and bad at, right? Again, you do not want to hear Mr. D's French accent. It sounds like a dying bird, okay? Again, all the things we're good and bad at. So, here are the skills I picked for today. Distinguish facts from opinion. Knowing what a complete sentence is. Drawing inferences from a text. It'll tell you what an inference is. Reading about history. We're going to be doing a lot of that. Using context to identify the meaning of a word. And choosing evidence to support a claim. Right? A lot of this should be familiar. And if it's not, then I'm very glad we're learning it. Right? Right? So, yeah. So once you go to the dashboard and click on the skill, it'll bring you to this idea. So this is determine the main idea of the passage. That's not what we're doing today, right? But you'll notice there's these 2 buttons up here. One it says learn with an example. The other is watch a video. Now you can watch a video and listen to this man with his ukulele. I haven't watched these videos. I can't speak to how good they are. You can watch it. I'd recommend practicing your reading skills and click learn with an example. Right? It'll ask you to read the passage, but you'll notice, I can't click. Has it broken? No. Instead, it's going to give you what the key idea is, which in this case is what the main idea of a text is, right? And it's going to tell you the solution. It's going to not only tell you what the solution is, but why that's the solution. What you were doing before was basically, it was just figuring out what your level was at, okay? What you're doing now is something else. You're learning, right? And this might be really easy for you, so you can just skip this, bada bing, bada bam, master it, move on to the next thing, right? If you have finished, or you're like, man, this is really, all these are really easy, I'm bored, going back to the tab, right? You'll see over here, recommendations. Now, if you've completed your diagnostic, it will have skills to recommend you, and those can be from all sorts of grade levels. I actually poked around. I'm not going to say which student had what skills, but there were some students who were testing at an 8th grade level who were missing 2nd grade skills. So don't be ashamed, right? It's not telling you you're dumb. It's just, hey, here's a weak spot. It's like, okay. So it's giving you what you're weak on. You may have just been sick the day you learned that in 2nd grade and you never learned it, right? So instead of thinking of it as like a punishment, think of it as like, oh man, now's my chance to catch up, and boom, everything's gonna be easy for me moving forward, right? Great. So I will say, when I look down here, oops, where is it? I'm gonna pause this to find the right window. Okay, hello. When I look down here, I can see how many questions and how much time you spent on the diagnostic, right? Remember, it's not the amount of questions you answer. Well, it is the amount of questions you answer, but I do want you to spend appropriate amount of time on this. If you haven't spent at least 20 minutes on this, probably more, it's not enough time. And because we spent over an hour in class doing this, right? For example, I'm not going to call anyone out in particular, but if we were spending over an hour in class working on something and you have 2 questions answered and you spend under a minute on it, what do you think I'm thinking? Am I thinking this student was making best use of their time? Probably not. So I need you to complete your diagnostic first. And if you're complaining about that, what can I tell you, right? You have a whole day to do this, complete your diagnostic, and so spend at least 20 minutes working on it, maybe more, and then spend 45 minutes on IXL. If you spend over 45 minutes on IXL, that's fine. I'll give you extra credit, but you need to also do a few other things. So this is where the second part of the video comes in. All right? The second part of the video is everybody needs to finish this. I posted this on September 22nd. All right? It was due September 23rd. It is now October 2nd. All right? All right? So at the end of the school day today, I'm going to get back from my temple. All right? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get the grades in for this. There's going to be no more extensions. This is it. When I go through, and I'm going to have to pick on someone because I got to show what I'm talking about, right? I clicked on Yamilet, and I happen to know she did a really nice job here, right? There's a few mistakes. I don't know if I'd give her a 10 for the table, 10 out of 10, but I'd probably give her a 9, right? She answered all these questions. She said, how do you prepare for these jobs? Why do you think you enjoy working in this job? Then I go back to the letter, and I'm like, oh, is this 8 or more sentences covering the following? No, right? Don't be fooled, because it looks like this is the most important thing. This is just preparing you to answer this. The table is only 10 points. Everything else is 17 points. So writing the letter is 17 points. Make sure you get this done. It's the same with the materials. It's the same with the typing test. All right? Anyways, And all those zeros, Google Classroom put them in. You do not have a zero. Unless it's blank, right? So, like, I didn't enter any zeros to this class, but I'm not saying I'm not going to give out any zeros. All right? Okay, so what else do you have to do? Well, here is our 1.0 reading. If you are in JSU, you had to read this for homework. You had to answer these 4 questions on the end. Some students were very confused. I thought this was a little funny. All of these questions you can answer using the story. And if you are one of those people who feel like, man, why is my IXL say I'm bad at this skill? Here's how you raise those skills in a way that's more fun and interesting than just working through a bunch of drills, okay? Read the story, answer the questions. I guarantee you these questions will be on your quiz on Friday. I also highly recommend looking over your vocab. Do you have an example sentence for everything? Share with your friends. Do you have a definition for those 5 words, which were migrate, tools, evolve? I can't remember the other 2, but you should know what they are because you wrote them down. Excuse me. For the other class, Clark Atlanta, you guys finished that a while ago, but both of you need to complete your two close reads worksheet like we talked about in class, right? I did notice as I came around for JSU, some of you guys are not understanding what this means. I will, next time I print it out, I'll be more specific. I'm not asking you what the article is talking about anymore. I'm saying, what is it saying, right? So some of you wrote human evolution. Great. What does it say about human evolution, right? What are the main points? Make sense? Right. And for Clark Atlanta, you need to finish that for the Lucy and the Leaky's reading. You guys are doing a great job. All right. Lastly is the debate stuff. So I'm going to click back on JSU. And I have now put in this link. Here is a full replay of the debate. It's not from YouTube, so you have no excuses anymore, right? If you have headphones, you can actually watch this in class once you're done with IXL. If you don't have headphones, don't put the debate on blast and make everyone else watch. You guys can go into the lunchroom. You can ask Miss Bakit if she's there, or someone. Don't ask the sub for headphones because the sub doesn't know where they are. Don't make them do something they can't do. I don't know what the headphones are, but ask someone you recognize for the headphones, and of course fill out the debate worksheet. Right? You should have done this first, and then get some bullet point answers. Right? Do not write in full sentences. I've been repeating myself a lot. Don't write in full sentences here. Once you're done with that, this is what we're gonna do tomorrow, today and tomorrow. But you can start working on it here. Using your debate worksheet, respond to some of the following prompts or related topics. I expect you to write in 7 full sentences. All right? Now, I want to reiterate what I'm about to say. You don't have to answer them all. You don't actually answer any of them. All right? They just have to be things related to debate. So, things like, what was it like to watch it? Who won the debate? Were there any connections you made to your personal life? Were you confused? Were you bored? By the way, it's okay to say, honestly, that was a really boring experience. I didn't take anything from it. I was confused the whole time. But you need to tell me about that. Don't just say, well, I was bored and confused, so I'm not going to answer. It's okay to have an opinion, but you need to write about it, right? And I'll tell you something honestly. I was pretty bored. It wasn't that exciting of a debate. Sometimes these things aren't that exciting, right? But they're important, right? And sometimes boring things are important. Life isn't fair, right? Just like vegetables are really good for you and ice cream is not good for you, sometimes life isn't fair, right? I expect at least 7 sentences for this, right? And again, we're going to complete this in class on Friday, so this is your chance to get ahead of it. I'm just kind of laying it out here. So I'm going to recap really quickly what you're supposed to do. I'm also going to make a post about it. But, oh, excuse me. You need to, if you haven't, finish your diagnostic on IXL. Then you need to go in your dashboard, spend at least 45 minutes working on these skills, right? I don't know how long, I don't know if one will take you 45 minutes or maybe you can finish them all in 45 minutes. If by some miracle, because I believe it shouldn't take you much longer than that, you do finish within 45 minutes, you can click on under 45 minutes, excuse me, you can click on recommendations. It'll have skills that it thinks you should brush up on or that you're ready for. If you finish your diagnostic, click on those and keep working, okay? Then you're gonna make sure in Google Classroom, sorry, I'm gonna go back here, that you have finished your career research and letter to your parents. Again, I'm gonna pick on Yamalet because she's the last name in the row, right? Don't just say I'm done with the table, therefore I'm done. You need to write your letter. Here's what needs to be on your letter. It needs to be 8 sentences. This was due 2 weeks ago. No excuses. Okay? This is going to be huge. I'm going to work on progress reports after I'm done grading these. This is probably the single biggest assignment. I haven't gotten to, what's it called? The lunchroom fight worksheet yet. All right? Takes a while to grade. Grading kind of sucks. Right? Anyways, once you are done with that, you may work on the debate, either watch it or make sure you filled out the sheet, or working on what is your overall impression. Just 7 free written sentences. Again, they don't have to be addressing these, they don't have to be addressing these points, but if you turn in 7 complete sentences about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman, I'm going to say, is that really what you should be doing with your time? Right? Once you are done with all of that, I'm giving you 2 options. 1, you can go back to IXL and work on recommendations or the skills. For every 15 minutes past 45 minutes spent on working, I'm going to give you an extra 2 points. Okay? So you can really rack it up. But it'll be much easier for you to rack up the points by finishing the assignments, right? And the IXL stuff is going to go in participation. That's only 10% of your grade, right? This stuff is homework. That's, I believe, 25% of your grade, right? This is assignments. I believe that's 45% of your grade, something like that. So this is much more important, okay? You're done with all that, IXL, or you can do typing.com, all right? Please, I don't know who this sub is. You need to give them your respect. I will be asking them to give me your names if you are not respectful, okay? But with all that in mind, now comes the most important part of the video. It's very important to listen to this. I am going to show a very cute video of my cat. So hold on. All right, here he is. Oh, I gotta turn up the volume. Give me a sec. I love that boy. Oh, so cuddly. Okay. This has been a very long video. I've been rambling. I'm going to post the instructions on Google Classroom, so no excuses this time about, oh, well, I couldn't hear you, Mr. D, or I didn't understand, or I didn't have finished. I've given you tasks that are based on time, not, word count. So everybody can finish all the tasks. All right? And of course, if you have any other missing homework, like the Too Close Reads worksheet, or, those check for understanding questions on the back of the early human migration reading, or the Lucy Nalikis reading if you're in Clark, Atlanta, then Gotta work on those, right? All right, I will see you on Friday. Have a sweet new year, and have a good day. Bye.